What was it like to meet Austin for the first time?
He's a cool guy. I mean, he's the CEO of a company, so there's a little bit of starstruck, right? You're like, wow, I'm going to his school, and he's the guy who created it, right?
And now what do you really think?
What do I really think? I mean, I don't know. I don't.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. We're finally checking back in with Patrick, student at Lambda School. It's been a while. He's been working hard. He's been working about 15-hour days now for a while. He's on his Lambda Labs project, and he's going to start computer science. But Lambda Labs is essentially a project there to emulate, imagine working overtime at a job. And the reason he's working so hard is because in 14 days, he's got 2 weeks left. In 14 days, he has to present this project to all of Lambda School and all of the potential employers there, all of Lambda's partners. And so, this reflects on everyone. There's an iOS team they're working with, the rest of his team. This has to go good. And he might find a job. He might get a job offer, and then he goes and takes that job, and then he studies the computer science portion, on the side, like part-time. If you don't know what Lambda School is, it is a code school, 7.5 months long for the full-time immersive program. You don't pay anything upfront, income share agreement. You don't pay anything upfront, and then when you get a job, you pay 17% of your income up to $30,000, no more than $30,000 ever. But for that income share agreement to take effect, you need to find a job paying $50,000 minimum, and it needs to be with the skills that Lambda School taught you. So I always say, if you are a car salesman and you go to Lambda School and then you can't find a job, and you do find a job just because you have to get a job because you run out of money or whatever, and you just need money, you need to work, you don't pay anything. Like it's Lambda's job to give you the skills and provide you with a skill set of a skilled programmer in the industry. And if they don't give you that, you don't get a job doing that, you don't pay. That's on them. Right now, Lambda School is open to students in all of the EU and the United States. They're currently working on getting that in Asia, Canada, a few other places, but government and laws and stuff. If you don't know who Patrick is, been following Patrick since the dawn of time, since the beginning of his Lambda School journey. And every week we do a video, and except on the holidays or except when he's super busy, and actually haven't checked in with him for a couple weeks now. But we did have an interview with Austin, the CEO, where we did a live stream where you guys could ask the CEO of Lambda School all your questions, and Patrick got to ask some questions. So CEO, student, and then there's me, just like the third wheel kind of. You can go check out that interview if you want to see like the difficult questions that Austin got asked, like what do you think about the Reddit reviews? When are you coming to Canada? So you can go check out that interview for, to see him answer all those questions. Is pretty transparent. If you have any questions about Lambda School, you can join the Discord and ask Patrick or me, or leave a comment. And I've actually been applying to jobs, and you'll see the technology that they get to work with. He's been working with a career coach, changing his resume, getting his applications out there, and they're trying to get him a job like as soon as possible. So we do this every week. If you want to see more of his journey, more of this, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. Again, there's a Discord link for that, is in the description. You can come check us out. There's a link for Lambda School if you want to check out the link for Lambda School. You get $250 when you graduate Lambda School, and it helps support the channel. So I'd appreciate it if you're interested in Lambda School. Maybe use that link. If you don't, you don't get the $250, and I guess you get to go, but it supports the channel. So I'll see you guys in the next video. What's your schedule?
So wake up 7 a.m., shower, get dressed, get on the computer before 8 a.m. while eating some breakfast, maybe like an egg or something. We do our early morning stand-up, so we talk about what we want to do for the day. I try to take because I know, I'm not trying to say that I know better than everyone. I'm just saying that, I kind of have an idea of what we should be focusing on. There's got to be someone who stands up and says, okay, we need to focus on these tasks. These need to be the priority for the day. So I try to do that. And that's worked out very well so far. So in the morning, I'll be like, okay, guys, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. What do you guys think? We talk it over as a team. And then we get a plan in motion. And so from 8 a.m. until about 11:30 a.m., we're coding and doing our own thing, checking up with each other, doing a stand-up with the iOS guys just to make sure that we're on par with different things. And then we have, right before we hit lunch, we have a stand-up just to make sure, give an update to everybody, say oh, I got this done, I didn't get this done, etc. And then we come back from lunch in about an hour, and then we're coding until about 4 or 5 p.m. And then we have our end of the day stand-up. And then after that, typically I'll stay on. I don't know about everybody else, but I'll stay on doing extra stuff because I feel like there's just not enough time to do all the features they want within an 8-hour day. And so I just put in the extra work, and I try to get stuff done.
Do you have anything you can show us?
Yeah, we have it deployed because the rule of thumb in labs is if it's not deployed, it doesn't exist. So I made this myself. I actually got Type.js to do this. It's kind of cheesy, but that's not the actual name. So you have your auth, which we've implemented. You can log in with Google. I made this animation with SVG. Thought it added another flavor of a flavor flav. All right, so we'll make a recipe. Let's call it like hot dog. It does it dynamically. So we have to add pagination here, or we're gonna do like an infinite scroll. We're gonna have to change this around a little, but we're just this is the USDA API for food and nutrition.
Can you
So
get caloric values and stuff? I assume you can with that little nutrients at the bottom.
yeah. So we had to do it. It was interesting. So we basically have it dynamically call here. You would have like your selected stuff here, right? Which comes down here when you click on it, and then you would apply that, and so then you get your caloric totaled up. That took the most time. I think we dedicated about 20 or 30 hours to just getting that done. Then you'd click save recipe, but then if we go to home, you now see we have hot dog, which is one of our most recently made recipes. And then you can make a meal out of that. Hot dogs, see now the recipe hot dogs in there. We can say if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'm just going to say it's like lunch, and then you can talk about the experience. So, but basically, then we also have like billing. We're using Stripe API for that, and then the settings where you can change like your email, and then you have alarms. And so this is really cool. So the way we set up the alarms is that it intermingles with the iOS version of the app that we have from the iOS guys. And so if you make an alarm, it'll actually send a push notification to your phone to let you know if you need to eat or something. But yeah, that's the work we have so far. This week coming up, we have to now refactor the UI for everything. We have all of our features done. We have everything in place that things work. So, I mean, of course, there's still some bugs, but essentially it's rough.
What's that mobile app look like? I know that's required, right? You got iOS, keep mentioning them.
Yeah, so the iOS guys, they are creating an app for the using Swift for the iOS, for iPhones, and it's supposed to be kind of doing the same thing. The one of the challenges about that though, and it opens up this new perspective is you have to not just think about the front end for a web development, like how you want things to work in terms of the back end. You also have to think about and pander to the iOS guys, like what do they need? What do they need to have for the back end?
Do you have to present the project at the end of 2 weeks? Like 2 weeks from now, you have to present?
Yep, we're gonna have a huge thing where anyone can come in. There's gonna be hiring partners. There's gonna be a whole thing, and everyone from this labs group is sharing their application.
So T minus 14 days before you present this in front of employers.
Yes.
You get 3 weeks for winter break, and all of Lambda is just, well, I bet they're still working, but
Yeah, there's a hackathon I think that Lambda people participate in, and at the end of December, it's like the last week. It's on my calendar, so
how long is it? Just a week? A couple days?
I think it's just a week. You get into a group with people and you bust something together real quick. I want to participate in it. That sounds fun. The idea, besides just doing labs before the CS portion, is they're also intermingling some career development with that. So I actually have a career development counselor that I talked to. She's a really great person. We went over my resumes. We talked about like things she liked, things she thought I could change. We looked at my LinkedIn. We looked at my Twitter. A couple of things I fixed. And so I decided, you know what? I think I'm ready, so I'm going to start applying. And so I signed up for Glassdoor, Indeed, Hired.com, a couple other ones, and I've just been applying. And so one of the things and the tools that they showed us, and it's a great resource, is it's a way to like kind of track where you've applied to. It's supposed to be the same way. Sorry, excuse me 1 second. All right. And so one of the great resources that they kind of showed us, and it's really great, it's kind of like a Trello board, but for places that you've applied to. So this was a resource that they showed us and talked about, but basically, as you can see, it's basically a Kanban board of places you've applied, right? Like you can move things over. You can say if you've gotten an interview, an offer, rejected, and it's just a nice way to kind of put in like where you've applied. And I've applied to 18 jobs so far, and then that was just from yesterday and today. So I'm trying to keep at 5 a day, which is what they said the minimum we should be doing. So there's actually a Google Chrome extension that if I'm like see this right here on the bottom, I'm moving around. If I was on Indeed, this little thing pops up and it'll automatically add once I've applied that job into my board, which is nice. I know Trello doesn't have something like that. You can also get leads. You can look for a directory and find like roles for different things from the company. So at basic, you get unlimited tasks, unlimited notes, and you can track up to 40 jobs. I see. I guess you get like job search metrics. You can get, oh, it'll let you discover contacts for a job and you can track more jobs. I mean,
That's not bad.
it's not like in a way that it forces you to feel like you need to do something, but I guess if you want leads, but for me, I would just go to LinkedIn. I would look for this company on LinkedIn, looked under front end engineer, type that into LinkedIn and search for people there and look for the hiring manager and be like, hey, just cold message and be like, hey, like I know you guys are hiring for this position. I would like to reach out to you and maybe talk to you, see what your experience is working at the company, etc. And I feel like that would be a good way to kind of um step into like maybe getting a possible interview or at the very least a phone interview. Caitlin, you want to come say hi?
Hi. What?
She said, "Look at my nails." Oh, okay.
I'm gonna edit this. Any final words?
Just
Okay, I'm ending it now.